Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? It's Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time right here on Ready Check Radio for the Relic Grind, our Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast. And I have a feeling today we'll be talking about Final Fantasy XIV and some Square Enix stuff. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, as always, aka Magic Man. And this is episode 116. We're doing it live, of course, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. Head on over. We've got chat hanging out. We'll share their opinions as we go. If you could make it, that'd be great. If you're listening on iTunes, Audible, whatever, watching on YouTube or on ReadyCheckRadio.com, thank you for that. We appreciate the support. Give it a like, a subscribe, turn on those notifications. Leave a comment on some of the topics. You know the stuff. Feed the algorithms. Joining me to go over all the fun stuff today. It looks like you got a fly.
Yeah, the Mike Pence
things right now. It was literally right on your nose as I brought the camera to you.
Perfectly timed.
Don't mind me today. I'm going to be kind of absent.
Tarkoth, that fly is all over your mug.
I know. Get off me.
What's up, boss?
I'm too busy right now. I'm playing Ever Crisis.
Ever Crisis. It is release day.
Yeah, it is release day. Started at the moment it launched. I was like, let's go. Let's do this. And then I got
enjoying it?
2 hours in. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Haven't hit any of those power troughs that I had talked about last week. But I'm assuming that they're going to hit hard. Some of the reviews are saying the pay to win aspects are pretty harsh on this, but we'll see.
Well, it is Square Enix, and it's not like they have the, best track record when it comes to mobile live services of any type.
Really?
No.
I thought First Soldier was awesome. Isn't it awesome?
Yeah, they've shut down an awful lot, and in fact, we might have another one for you today on today's show. Here to talk about all of it, also, Mr. Paul Berlin. What's up, Flynn?
Hi, I am melting. It is too hot in the UK again.
Yeah, this week's been warm here, too, in the high 80s, low 90s here. So it cooled off a little bit today because we got some rain in my area. But
it's currently 68 Fahrenheit at midnight here.
68 is fine.
Yeah,
at 70 in my house.
Yeah, his point is it's 68 at fucking midnight. Like, at midnight, it's still 68.
I spent 18 years in Phoenix, okay? 68 at midnight?
Yeah, you're used to it. That's the
difference. Awesome.
Oh, here we go.
You're
it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat.
It does matter. It does matter.
Oh, shut up. 112 is 112. Like, I don't care if there's moisture in the air or not.
Yeah, I don't think it's dipping much below 60 Fahrenheit at all before it starts to heat up in the early morning.
Yeah. A little bit of a heat wave. Yes. We're just going to talk about weather today. That's
okay.
It. Oh, yeah. Nothing more.
Yeah. That's the next Square Enix game. After Power Wash Simulator, they're going to be Weatherman challenge.
I mean, we could go through.
It's time to settle on your 16 playthrough so we can get your review.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, have you finished it yet?
No. And
oh my God. 3
of my close friends also have not. I've said this, I think it says a lot about the game where you just, you get to the point and you're like, okay, I'm going to play this. And then you're like, yeah, I'll get back to it at some point.
Oh, see, I didn't get that. Like, when I was playing 16, I wanted to keep playing and finish the story and everything. Like, I didn't have those, all right, I'm not going to play tonight moments. But I did, like I said in the review stuff, like, as soon as I got to to New Game Plus, I was like, no, I don't care enough about the questing and the combat and stuff weren't as intriguing to me to want to sit there and do it all again. Weather Channel, any updates on the hurricane? No, but let's get you one. Let's see what's going on
right now. Your meteorologist Mark is looking into it.
Yeah, we've got Hurricane Lee is getting more and more powerful. Will it hit land right now? Maximum winds of 130 miles per hour. That makes it Cat 4, I believe. Off the top
yep.
My wife's really into weather, so I know all kinds of stupid weather stuff.
An hour ago,
because hurricanes, the UK just doesn't get it, so it's like, whatever you say, Gav.
No.
Latest an hour ago, it hit Cat 4, and it's supposed to hit Cat 5 intensity. Good times.
Yeah. So lots of paths
Floridian.
sending that. Yeah, lots of paths. Couple sending it like right into Florida. Most sending it like a side swipe of Florida and then into like Georgia and South Carolina. That means we'll be looking forward to a really rainy week. Not a sidetrack at all. It's what we're here for. It's what the show is for. We are, yeah. We will. You know what? We're just for you, Pierce Fish. We're gonna put Tark in the thinnest windbreaker possible.
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna have him go stand on the beach in Florida and report live. I always love that when they go do. First off, what do you get inside and tell me about the hurricane, you idiot? Like, come on,
crazy.
Burn, I expect to see that plane ticket and that per diem in my email here soon.
Oh no, you just got a settlement, boss, for your car. So you're like, this is all out of pocket, bro.
I got to take care of the car. Let's go.
Not only are they out there, but they're like in the thinnest windbreaker.
In the hurricanes out in the street.
If you did that, a plane ticket and like just like 2 days per diem, I would do that for you. I would go stand.
If I was
going
to
live stream for you,
if I was going to give you the money to do it, I'd go do it myself.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't send you. I'd be like, all right, where's a shitty windbreaker? We'll act like this helps.
Here's the downside. If you were to die, like the channel would die. But if I die, you replace me.
The channel's barely alive anyway.
Hey. I keep the hope alive. I love this channel. I love this project.
I do too, anyway. But it's not a business venture. That's why I don't care. 700 followers, cool. Hey, follow on Twitch. I'd like to hit 1,000. We're like a couple, like 400 away.
We're gonna get Kronos back to dance.
Right? Yeah. We do got to get him back to dance. What the hell? Oh yeah, this is the Final Fantasy show. Okay. I almost forgot which one it was.
Well, we can be Final Fantasy adjacent. Some of the characters have elemental names.
Yeah. Wind abilities. Let's go.
Hey, next live letter is scheduled. This is part 2 of the patch 6.5 release for Final Fantasy XIV. That's going to be September 23rd. That is legitimately Havoc, my brother's birthday. I don't know if he's in chat tonight or not, but like I know we joke a lot on Gaming Combo about Dom's birthday and everything. That is legitimately Havoc's birthday. So, on Saturday, September 23rd, 11 p.m. Pacific time. So it's going to be 2 a.m. here on the East Coast, and then 7 in the morning for you, Flynn. Yeah, so not so bad for you. You got to get up a little early, and we stay up pretty late to go ahead and watch it. 6.5 part 2, miscellaneous updates. So expect to see, exactly what we expect. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a lot out of this one.
Yeah, it's part 2. We'll see a teaser more of the dungeon or the 24-man.
Yeah, and that's like the Criterion thing, variant thing is in 6.5. Excuse me. The crossover with Fall Guys is in 6.5X. Like, we don't even know what patch that's in yet. So we'll have MSQ. We'll have the finish of the Alliance raid. And they'll probably touch on all of these things, even though they touched on most of them in the part 1. I guess, Tark, like, we'll see, like, some of the Alliance raid gear, right? Yoshi P holding up pictures. And
that is the standard
picture book.
Standard operating procedure.
Don't want this one.
Why they can't just put that like on scene slides and be like, hey, here you go. But no, he wants to be hands-on and show us that artwork on paper. It makes it more real when it's on paper, right? So
I think it's tradition now from like a carryover from betas and stuff when they did the initial live letters.
Yeah. I do love Zero being front and center of this patch artwork, though.
Yeah, so the 6.5 glowing light special site did go live today as well, a few days after the announcement of the live letter. The key art absolutely looks amazing for growing light. Early October, so still kind of thinking October 10th-ish is going to be the day there.
I think I'm seeing the 3rd get floated around the most at the minute.
I've seen the 3rd floated around a lot based on
10th.
Based on how long the treasure trove usually runs.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm putting my money on the 10th. If it's the 3rd, I'll be delighted, but I'm putting my money on the 10th. Not a lot on the site. It's just, hey, like, here's what's in the patch. You know, a lot of 651, 655, you know, 65X stuff on there. Crystal in Conflict gets its new arena in 5.1, and Savage Patch for, you know, go ahead.
It's amazing when you have this big list of bullet points and you're like, that looks like a lot. And then you're in game and it's like, man, I'm already done with all the content.
Yeah. It's like, this is 2 hours of my life.
Well, I mean, because there's some things on the list, right, for 6.5 that like just don't us existing everyday-ish or players. Well, we don't really care about, right? But they are very, very big things. From I'm not going to get any extra enjoyment or content out of it, but I'm glad it's there. Like the Xbox beta, right? The Xbox version open beta testing starts in 6.5. The expanded free trial to include Stormblood comes in 6.5. So there's like new things there that, we probably don't care about as players, but we care about as fans for the game being added. So, I mean, that key art though, man. Flynn, that is, oof.
Yeah. I was going to say, Julius there Julius on the left there just needs to back off my girl. So, just saying.
Yeah, Zero looking pretty awesome. Doesn't look very happy. Looks pretty pissed,
that's her
actually.
Default, no, that's her default look. She's just kind of,
just,
basic.
RBF, ratchet bitch face.
Then what's weird here, though, is like we have the live letter the 23rd.
Yeah.
But Square Enix will also be at the Tokyo Game Show in that time period. There'll be the closed door business stuff September 21st and 22nd. And then the public days, September 23rd and 24th. And 14 is scheduled to be there for a bit of a showing there. They're going to have some side stuff that you can do and things like that. The presentation slides, that is where the live letter is happening. So it's going to be live from Tokyo Game Show, which I think is kind of neat. I like that. I mean, we've seen them do it from other events, most notably their own Fan Fest, but I like when they do the live letter from big events like Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, PAXs, stuff like that. So presentation, Japanese audio only, so rely on the old standbys. But the text, of course, will be English and Japanese as well. But that's not all. Flynn, what do you think of their Tokyo Game Show lineup here? So we got, I'll tell you the games and you tell me what you want to see. Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai, Star Ocean Second Story R, Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince, Foam Stars, of course, 14 and its live letter, Power Wash Simulator, and Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. That's the Square Enix lineup. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a pretty good lineup. Half of this stuff I'm already hyped for in general, so the two, if I was to pick just two off this list, it's going to be Foam Stars and Ball Power Wash Simulator, because I'm going back to the future in that game now.
Yeah.
For this game that will get Tark to clean.
Jesus Christ.
We're never going to get him.
We've had Midgard, we've had Tomb Raider, we've had Bikini Bottom, we got Back to the Future.
No, just no.
Let him hose off Rosa and Cecil, and he'll totally buy it.
Oh, God damn it!
Stola and Zero and
Okay. All right. Here's the deal. If there's a Final Fantasy IV crossover, F it. I'll just do it. Whatever. I'll do it for the memes. I'll do it for the memes.
He's like, whatever. But
I think this lineup is kind of meh. Like the only thing I'm looking forward to is Second Story R. So
really,
we already got.
Well, I mean, 14 live letters, kind of its like own beast, right? It just happens to be taking place at TGS.
Exactly. It was going to happen anyways. That they just chose the location for it. I've never been a big fan of Dragon Quest Monsters. Foam Stars, I'm mildly interested in. Maybe play with that with my kids, like I've said. Ever Crisis is released. We're playing that now, so that's not new for Tokyo Game Show. I don't even know what Infinity Strash kind of game. What is that? What kind of game is it?
Treasure hunting, I believe.
Yeah, that's part of the whole like Dragon Quest treasure hunting thing.
All right. Well, so no. So Second Story R.
It is very anime. That's kind of like their thing. That like almost playing a role playing anime episode.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
Definitely not really my
everyone.
thing. Although that is coming out on like everything. That's coming out on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 and Xbox and all that stuff. I am severely looking forward to Star Ocean Second Story or Dragon Quest Monsters.
Looks gorgeous.
Maybe some of those things we might have a little bit more information to go over later. Okay. We've talked often on this show, Flynn, about a story skip of some type.
Yeah,
right.
I believe last week we had a good discussion on it as well.
Yeah, we did. Well, in an interview with Sportscada, Yoshi P was asked once again about a story skip. Right now, obviously, you can buy the cash shop item, right? And that's not ideal, right?
Yeah,
that kind of leaves a bad,
yeah,
it kind of leaves a bad taste in mouths, right?
Yeah.
I either play through the stuff that maybe I'm not having the best time with because I just want to get through it to catch up with my friends, or I could shell out even more money on top of what I may have already spent if I'm not in a free trial or whatever. So during the interview, they did ask Yoshi P about some type of skip, at least through the Heidelin Zodiac story. So through the end of 6.0, right? 6.1 it kind of just keeps setting the stage for 7.0. So at least through 6.0. And this was Yoshi P's response. Furthermore, we've been making preparations for those who want to skip the story between 2.0 and 6.0, collectively referred to as the Heidelin and Zodiac saga, and instead begin from Newfound Adventure Saga that started in 6.1 update with a summary of the story, lore, as well as features to introduce new characters. Now, he wasn't ready to say what that was, what it was going to look like, if there was going to be a cost associated with it, like some of the stuff that's in the cash shop that allows you to story skip now, but that they are in preparation for some form of a skip. And he really didn't want to take it to 7.0. He kind of just balked at that whole idea. He said, even if the introduction to the story may come off as too thorough and dull, is it truly the right choice to skip it? That's where I'm undecided. Kind of not liking the idea of going straight to 7.0, but maybe just that skip to 6.1. How should they do this, Flynn?
I think we said it last week because we'll probably talk about the free-to-play stuff as well with the comments.
Yep.
But it does feel like we've gone from Final Fantasy XIV 2.0 to a Final Fantasy XIV 2 in a way. And we've split off one major 10-year arc that's its own separate identity now. And that's the way they want to treat it. So trying to find words at 12:15 at night.
Well, because they've painted themselves this weird little position, right? Yeah. Like if they make some type of 2.0 to 6.1 or 2.0 to 6.0 skip, they totally invalidate items that they currently sell in their cash shop if they don't sell that item, right? Like if they just said, "Hey, buy the expansion." And, we'll give you this skip. Like you see Guild Wars 2 do this, right? With most of their expansion bundles, you get a boost, a character boost.
Yeah, I was going to say World of Warcraft's done this too.
Yeah, but it's a little different in the respect that you're not skipping story and content. You're just getting a boosted character. So it's not exactly the same, but there's no reason Final Fantasy could not offer some type of thing like that. But how do you bake it in, Tark? How do you give it away if that's the plan? Or is this just, hey, it's going to be yet another story skip cash shop item in addition to the ones we have? Or we're replacing the ones we have with this one? Like, how do they do this?
It's totally going to make sense.
Well, I guess, last week I was like, you just need to buy a story skip. It's there. You just want to skip it. It's up to you. But I'm coming around more to, for new, like, especially when the Xbox launches, you buy a new account, and you get all the expansions, or maybe pre-order. you get a one-time code for your new account. It's got to be a new account. It can't be a used one. And you're allowed to take one character, one job to level 80 or 90 if they're, doing 6.1. And then you're able to skip to that part of the story specifically for new accounts. And then any future expansions in new accounts, again, it's only going to go up to 6.1, and it will never gain value. You're not going to skip to 7.1 or to 8.1. It's always going to be to the beginning of the new saga. That's just how I feel it should do. So only new accounts, and maybe as a pre-order for Dawn Trail.
Only new accounts.
I will say, if they are gonna do it so you can come in brand new and start it, they need to find a way to make something like Call of the Novice mandatory. Because if you're jumping in at level 90, that is a lot of stuff you won't have a clue about with your kit. You won't know how to do rotations.
Flynn,
how to interact with the stuff that 14 does.
They don't need to just make Hall of the Novice mandatory. They need to make a Hall Intermediate and a Hall of the Advanced.
Yeah,
they need to do all the above.
They need a new sort of tutorial.
I would agree.
Yeah, so because in the way they do it in the store now, they do sell boosts, but those are separate, right? Those aren't part of the story skip items. They sell two different products for that. And the products for the story skip are separate as well, right? You can do just a Realm Reborn, or you can do Realm Reborn and Heavensward, Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood, or Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers, with varying prices, and you can usually catch them on sale. They're not that expensive, right? They were initially. They were ridiculously overpriced initially, but now you can usually catch them on sale
or something.
Yeah, like the most expensive one to go all the way through Shadowbringers has a base price of $25, but that damn thing's always on sale. It's like always, like it's on sale right now. I just checked for $17.50. So, do you? I don't know, man. I think it just feels bad if you just add it as a fifth option for a $25 story skip when you have a lot of new players clamoring for a way to jump in now, right? And the story skip doesn't boost your level, so you still have to like burn some dungeons and get your abilities so you still can learn your character, but you could do that at a pretty damn good clip with some friends helping you particularly. I don't know. It's a weird position. Like, is it just going to be a fifth package, Flynn? And if so, is that going to be what people want? Because then it means if you want to
be a fifth package, because if they want you to start at 6.1, you need to be at level 90. So it has to be a story skip and a level skip all in one.
Well, no, you don't. I mean, they don't do that now. You can't buy the one and skip to Shadowbringers, and you still start at level 1 when you buy that story skip all the way to Shadowbringers. So they don't have to bundle that in. But I think the value proposition isn't there, right? You have the free trial, the unlimited free trial, which is going to be expanded all the way through Stormblood. Okay, so setting that aside, somebody that continues to play now has to buy, when Dawn Trail comes out, 2 expansions, and after 30 days, pay a sub. And if they want to skip, and this is just thrown in as another product, that's a big spend to get in there, depending on what bundle of Dawn Trial thing you buy. Maybe $30 to $60 if you get the previous expansion in there, $15 for your sub, and $25 or $35 for a story skip. I think that if they try to just add it in as a fifth story skip in the cash shop, I don't think that's what people are looking for.
Yeah. I just think it should be part of like a complete edition bundle. You're buying everything because you're new to the game, and then they set the level to 80 for the new, one job, one-time code with the bundle. I think that's the only logical way to really put it all together.
I kind of agree with that, right? Because then your longtime players, they even get a little benefit out of this, right? You want to boost an alt real quick and just cancel all that story stuff and have it done.
Yeah.
Go for it. You know, you bought Dawn Trail. Here's a free token for a story skip all the way to Dawn Trail. So I already have a character there. I'll throw it on an alt. Flynn's brand new to the game. Throw it on his main. What do you think, Flynn?
I think, like, from a player perspective, it wouldn't be financially sensible. But an option, whenever you create a character, you choose the arc you want to begin in. So you either start with base Realm Reborn. So you start at level 1, starting city, our usual brand new character, or you start at the start of 6-1. So you start at level 90, you have a bit your artifact gear set, and that's where you start your adventure from.
So you don't think it's sensible if you bought a complete package?
No, like, as a player,
or you
just
bought
having
Dawn Trail?
this as an option, whether it's done in Dawn Trail, whether it's done in 8.0. Like, if you create a new character, you just got the option, which arc do you want to start in? You want to start dead at the beginning, learn everything about the game?
I don't think that's going to be...
Like I said, from a financial sense, it doesn't make sense for Square to do it. But
right, and that's what I'm saying. It totally doesn't make sense, because then you have 4 items currently in your cash shop that there's 0 reason to buy. Right? I mean, unless for some reason you have like a really small subsect of the audience that is like, I don't want to play a Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word, but I do want to pick it up in Stormblood. Then maybe you can milk a purchase of the Stormblood story skip there. But the audience buying that specific expansion product is going to be exceedingly slim. Exceedingly slim. I think it makes the most sense to just include a one-time code in Dawn Trial. Yeah. And if you're an existing player and you want to throw it on an alt, fine. You want to give it to a buddy,
sure.
Fine.
I mean, I just made an alt, so yeah, if they include that in Dawn Trail, I'll throw that on my alt, and I can start at 6.1, maybe with a level 80 job.
Yeah, you want to give it
80. That lets me do the new jobs right away.
Yeah,
too.
You want to give it to a buddy that isn't ready to buy Dawn Trail but does own the game, because remember, the unlimited free trial, you can't redeem codes anyway, so there's no loss there for me to have a code, not use it, and say, hey, Flynn, you bought Stormblood, but you never got there. Why don't you resub up, and I'm going to toss this code to you, and you can just jump in with me. I think they would do something goofy where they limited it to the serial number of the damn software, but it'd be nice to be able to toss it around.
Yeah, financially, like I think giving this away at a loss and taking the hit on those optional items is better, so that you get those people in and get that sub money right away. So they're in, they're playing the game, they're near the end of the game. They're probably going to sub because they don't have to slosh through 200 hours of story. They're playing the new job. I think all around that would be the win-win for Square and the players.
If you're hoping at some point that the game goes free to play, yeah, the trial's the best you're going to get. It's not going free to play anytime soon. And in fact, Yoshi P said this once again, talking to Eurogamer this time, saying, I believe the free trial will continue to be expanded. That's an interesting statement, knowing that he already has revealed Stormblood is about to be part of that. And he uses the phrase continue to be expanded, something we talked about last week. Like, what's the plan going forward? Is it always going to be the 2 most recent expansions are still buy and previous ones become free? Maybe. Continue to be expanded is the words he used here. But we have no plans of making the client itself free at the moment. Since a huge amount of time and money has been invested in the expansion packages, the revenue from sales of the expansion package itself is still very important in order to continue to make expansions on this scale. We would like to constantly aim for the best on the business side as well, to continue making a lot of content to be enjoyed. What I thought was weird about this response, gentlemen, was that the subscription was not mentioned. He mentioned specifically the sale of the expansion, not, hey, we depend on the subscription for our development and et cetera, et cetera. because that's really the only difference, right? I don't think many of us would expect if it went free to play that the current expansion would be free. I always kind of viewed Final Fantasy as if it were going to go free to play, it would do very much like a Guild Wars 2 does.
Exactly.
Or like an or like an Elder Scrolls Online does. Hey, we're going to give you the free trial through Stormblood, and then you buy each expansion after that, which would still give them the expansion revenue he's talking about here, Flynn. So I thought it was kind of interesting that he doesn't mention the sub, which literally the subscription beyond Stormblood is the only difference between Final Fantasy XIV and Elder Scrolls Online or Guild Wars 2, those specific buy the expansion payment models.
Yeah. It's UGP's corporate speak, I think. Just trying to say something and not always saying fully what he wanted or should say.
What is being linked in chat here?
A 5-hour Final Fantasy and entire series retrospect.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Homework for next week.
Who
did the video?
Oh, Never Knows Best. Yeah, Never Knows Best does good stuff. You don't know if I would sit there for 5 hours, but Never Knows Best does good stuff. Does good stuff. Dodging the question. I don't think he dodged it. I mean, he did say no. You know, we're going to expand the trial. We won't. I just thought it was kind of interesting that the sub wasn't mentioned. Yeah. It was more the expansion revenue, which obviously makes sense. But over the long term, you make far more from the sub. They also asked him. Oh, hold on! I accidentally closed the damn thing. They asked him, Tark, at what point do you move on and your team move on from Eorzea to a new game? And he says, we don't have plans to move on to a new game, as that would be something even more difficult than having the realm be reborn. That might change if I am hit with some kind of inspiration, though. And this is a guy that we know publicly he has said
a lot like this, and it turns out I'd love to do a high fantasy game.
Well, he said I would love to create an MMO from scratch.
Yeah,
right? He said that before, that he wants to create an MMO from scratch before he's done making games. No plans for it now. As an experienced MMORPG player myself, I had somehow felt that it wouldn't be possible for an MMORPG which failed upon launch to revive itself. However, it's precisely for that reason why, to me, A Realm Reborn presented itself as a good challenge, and it makes me happy to hear people acknowledge its value. I'm proud that our operations on 14 remain strong, and the initial goal was to firstly reach 10 years. So rather than feeling surprised about it, I'd, of course, like to appreciate the support of the players first and acknowledge it as a result of the efforts of the development and operations team. So nothing in the pipeline, Tark, or just nothing I can't say out loud yet?
Nothing he can say out loud yet. Like, I think he has a green light from Square if he really wants to do it. My fear and apprehension is like him splitting time again. Like, I think we all feel like maybe he split too much time between 14 and 16. Like, if he's gonna do a new MMO, there's got to be an announcement of change of leadership and like, hey, I'm doing this other project. Please look forward to it. And here, stepping into the new role, such and such person. We got to know that it's in good hands. You can't. Do one if you're gonna do, especially MMOs. They're so huge, so massive. One or the other. Just I don't care if you want to do Final Fantasy 19 and have it be an MMO. I'm all aboard. I will check it out, but put your focus into that. If he's gonna wait until he's done with this new arc, like when he hits year 20, what is he gonna be, 60 by the time the new MMO comes out? It's gonna. One or the other is my answer. Please, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think at that point you can be on both. You barely got away with being on 16 at the same time.
Well, keep in mind he also does the Dragon Quest MMO as well. 11. He is a busy boy.
Sure
he doesn't have the CPU free, so he has.
Yeah, it's his business unit. Those just kind of shifted under his supervision.
Yeah,
those weren't like, hey, he's taking over and hell, Final Fantasy XI is just can we find a way to leave the lights on? Cool. Make sure the lights don't go off. All right, let's have 6 people here to make sure the lights don't go off. And Dragon Quest X is getting its new expansion soon. But yeah, I mean, that was just all shifted under Creative 3 and his supervision. He's not like primary lead director or developer on that.
He's not a director, producer, or designer on it. So
yeah.
But in terms of his comments, it more sounds like, probably just my brain, more of we've got a skeleton in place for the day that 14 or Dragon Quest no longer is able to bring in the money, and we can move on to the next project. Finally, there might be something planned in the line for when the time happens. Whether that is just at the minute working out infrastructure or just keeping an eye on the new technologies or whatever else it could be.
Yep. Yeah, and Pierce Fish, you're right. Not addressing the sub is not fully addressing the free-to-play piece, since that's an integral part of going free-to-play. Well, I mean, that is the only difference, right? There is the fact that beyond Stormblood, post 6.5, beyond Stormblood, a sub is required to continue playing. X-Packs aren't the only expense players have to play. Yeah, here's looking at you, 11. Tell me about it. Every time I go back for my nostalgia hit, I'm like, oh, God, why do I still have to sub to play this a little bit?
Why do I have to go through play online?
I'm just bored with 14, and it's 6 weeks to patch. I just want to go back for a quick nostalgia hit. I
just don't want to log in to play online. That thing's brutal.
You're not wrong. It's a lot better, but that's saying a lot for how bad
I needed 3 people's help to get through and get my account, okay? It's brutal.
Moving on to other Square Enix stuff, Final Fantasy XVI gets some news this week.
Yeah, it does.
2 paid DLCs coming up. Remember the game that probably wasn't going to have DLC? 2 paid DLCs coming up. Now, Yoshi P does say, we've seen so many opinions and reactions from our community of the Final Fantasy XVI players, but one thing that came through particularly strong was how people wanted to see more of Valisthea's story and spend more time with her inhabitants. To accommodate, the development team has started work on 2 installments of paid DLC. Now, we have no idea how much, when, focus of the DLCs. We don't know that stuff yet. That stuff will come soon. If Yoshi P stays true to what he said after the game launched and not before the game launched, we can probably expect these to not be epilogue type stuff to the main story, but more focused on a character or 2 in the story and providing backstory for them and maybe a mythos focused one, just enhancing the lore of the main story, not a continuation or an epilogue to the main story, right?
Yeah, I think the story's all wrapped up in its nice little bow. There's no reason to Final Fantasy X to it. Shots fired. I just think you expand on Joshua, expand on Jill, and maybe throw some pretty challenging hunts, like endgame hunts in there, for those that are looking for maybe a bit of a challenge in there.
Give us Tomberries and Cactuars.
Some of those things, those Final Fantasy staples that we're missing.
Yeah, I was just you go to Strangers of Paradise and Tomberries just destroy you if you're ill prepared.
Yes, I do.
I was waiting for that in 16. All the way through. New Game Plus is like, they might just add it in as a random end.
Nope. There is a free update in the game available right now, too. There's some cool stuff in there. Some alternate outfits for Clive and Jill, and a skin for Torgal, and a transmog system for weapons, which is really nice. And there's other quality of life stuff. So like arcade mode got some adjustments, new controller layouts, system menu settings, and some other bug fixes and things like that. That's already available for free. The DLC will come
in the arcade mode point system.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because people were
I mentioned that
so
card
bad.
made adjustments. Yeah.
And
PC confirmed. Shocked.
Yeah, I mean, they announced it themselves with that bullet point, right? For the very first time, you know?
I don't know why anybody thought there'd be a PC version 6 months, and they're saying that it's now in development. Bullshit. That's been in development for a while. Stop.
The more shocking thing is it's not Epic type this time around. It's coming to Steam.
Well, it's not Epic exclusive, yeah, but we don't know that for sure. A reliable source of behind-the-scenes information is indicating that it's not going to be tied directly to the Epic Games Store like FF7 was, the FF7 remake. But that's not for sure yet. That's coming from VG247's editor in a Reset Era thread when they were talking about will it be exclusive to the Epic Games Store. And he said, not to my knowledge, no. And the DLC isn't an epilogue, but something that buffs out the world in the middle of the story, I believe. So think more of how Mass Effect narratively handled its DLCs, except Citadel and Arrival, or even Final Fantasy XV. As far as I know, which could always be wrong, but I don't think it is.
So over in Japan at the minute, the Ultimania book is now out for 16. And they've actually shown where the Mother Crystal for Leviathan it was.
Sick.
So that could be a potential one.
Yeah, the Leviathan, the Lost, huh?
Yeah. Following Itaikuji's tweets today, seeing that's over on Walud continent, down in the bottom left.
Can we put a prediction down right now? Maybe write this down, post-it note or something. You know, we'll get a tweet celebrating 1.5 million sales on PC, and then the next financial comes out and they'll say it did not meet expectations, right?
Is it Reset Era or Resetera? I don't know. I've always just said Reset Era, but that's because my brain always just divides the words up. But yeah, Resetera, as in etc., makes sense. I don't know. Which is it? Do you guys know? What do you say?
I don't know. What's the context?
My brains doesn't know the context.
The name of the site. The name of the site.
Oh, I would have to be Reset Era.
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, Resetera. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like etc. Yeah, like etc. Yep, you don't know what I'm talking about? Like etc.
Yeah.
Resetera.
Yeah, so it's
the thing is, I've always seen
right.
I've always seen it written. I've always seen it written with capital R, capital E when it's not in a URL. So I'm like, okay, it's 2 words. Reset Era.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have no idea either. Speaking of sales, Tark, you bring up an interesting point. I'm going to let you know right now the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters are an absolute failure to meet expectations. Because they only sold 3 million copies so far.
I know. Here's the fun thing. They could have 3,000,001 and cross that expectation if they would just have more physical copies, and I would buy one. Just right there. You got your 3,000,001. You meet your expectation.
I still haven't bought any of these.
You should just look in the comments. The second one down is 3,000,001. If they'd release another round of physical copies.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Did you write this comment?
I did not even see that. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I have not bought a single one of these yet because I want a physical copy of these. And the thing is, they would be perfect on my fucking Steam Deck, right? Like, I know I would play these, but I have just resisted this one so hard because the way they handled the physical copies.
I specifically picked up 4 on Steam just so I could play it, on ReadyCheck. And then we had that chip challenge. That was fun. But yeah, I'm not going to buy the whole set unless I can get it physically. Just no.
By the way, they have not called this one a failure yet. I was being facetious there.
It's Square Enix. You just expect it.
At some point,
it is the Bart Simpson meme from. We're just like, oh, my bad. Just expected it to be you.
I'm a Hero 2, who has usually been pretty reliable at some leaks. has been talking about the rumored Switch 2. That's kind of the unofficial name for whatever Nintendo has cooking for a system. Well, I'm a Hero 2 says, hey, by the way, contacts say Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth. Not quite sure which one because it was just listed to them as FF7R. They got it to run on the Switch 2. It took no time at all, and it runs like a PlayStation 5 game.
I'm hopeful for it. Switch is an amazing system. It was past its time a year into its life cycle, but just sells gangbusters because of its adaptability to take it on the go or play it at home. But as far as like technical specs, it's always been just behind its curve even for its time. So to see that it can play these type of games and hopefully play something like Rebirth, which is, I believe, Unreal Engine 5 specifically, it's going to be gorgeous. And I hope they get those Nintendo players get the full experience if it does come to that.
I like the Switch. I know Takao giving the Switch some jabs in chat. Not a fan. I love the Nintendo Switch. Although, I will say this, particularly owning a Steam Deck, right? But even not owning a Steam Deck, if a lot of key Nintendo titles were available on PC, I don't know if I'd own a Switch.
Yeah. That is the thing with Nintendo. They got exclusive.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, they kind of got me by the short hairs on some of those titles, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, where else am I going to play a Zelda game? Legally, where else am I going to play a Zelda game right now?
I know this might be for Gaming Gumbo, but
legally,
do you think it's, logical, like imperative that they have backwards compatibility with the Switch?
You almost have to, right? Because that's,
because they've killed off their handheld systems. This is it now. You got a hybrid system, and that's it.
Yeah, I think they almost have to, at least this first go around. Kind of like PlayStation 2 really had to do PlayStation 1, but then PlayStation 3, you were like, I don't think we really have to do it anymore,
As well as, this architecture does not play ball properly without all the shit.
Yeah, well, the 3 was a disaster in itself, but yeah.
Hey, man.
But I was saying to talk just before the show start, behind doors at Gamescom, apparently a few people did get to try out the Switch 2.
Yeah, that's where a lot of these rumors about the system are coming from. Yeah.
So, which leads into the next 2 points. It's like, if this leaker, which has got a reputation, more confirmation the Final Fantasy IX remake is somewhere out there.
Has to be.
Yeah, and as well as the 10 remake having the Skeleton Crew, or potentially 10 free, whatever way they go.
Well, I mean, the things from the video leak we're still missing are 9 remake and Tactics remaster. So give me both, please. 2024.
Hey, I'll be happy November 1st. Final Fantasy XVI music headed to Theatrhythm.
Nice.
Definitely looking forward to that.
More Theatrhythm streams.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Such a great game. I platinumed the hell out of it.
Yeah,
the game's so nice. I wanted to platinum it twice.
So many packs that you have to pay for. It almost feels like pay to win. Almost.
I haven't bought a single one.
No,
they have like the Saga and the Mana series,
Nier,
like Nier. Like, I haven't bought any of this. I haven't bought a single one. I haven't bought. I will buy the 16 one. I will. I even stayed away from the Chrono one. I was like,
ooh, that's tough.
Yeah. I was like, I got to platinum this so I can stop playing it for a while, because eventually I'm gonna hit that stupid purchase button. Because the game. I love the game, don't get me wrong. Absolutely love it. And it's nowhere near as would you please spend money on me as Chocobo Racing was. But it does, like, on a timer, basically throw up the, hey, here's DLC that's going to be available in the shop notifications.
Yeah.
Also dope, look at this. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. This is the anime opening revealed this week for Star Ocean Second Story R Remake.
I am a sucker for these.
So good.
Sometimes you just wish Square would just pull the trigger and do like full shows of some of these games. Like we've seen the advertisements for 14 anime that was done in Korea, I think. Kind of a fan thing. Like,
Yeah.
where just like get them on board and just do a show, and people would flock to see it. You know, whatever, $10 and I'll buy the whole series. That'd be awesome. This looks amazing as well. Star Ocean Second Story is my favorite Star Ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, intros like this is what sold me on the Tales of franchise.
Yeah, good call. It does have that whole vibe, and it always. I mean, the animation's slightly different, right? But a little more polished. But the Lunar series too, right? Back in the day, the working designs, bundle one that they made. I mean, even on the Sega CD, the original animations were very good there too. But yeah, the working designs remakes or collector sets for Lunar, Lunar 2, and even Arc the Lad. They had very anime sequences. Loved it like this. It's so good. I can't play it for you too, but go watch it on YouTube. The music's phenomenal.
Yeah, the song slaps so hard.
Yeah, it really does. Obviously, for copyright reasons, I can't play it for you, but I can't wait for this. When is the November 1st? 2nd, November 2nd release date. So not too far. Not too far.
PS5, I'm buying it as long as I have money.
Is your brain just going, wherever I have left in the segment is just disappearing right now?
He gets his car fixed and he's like, well, there's $300 left over. What you got for me, Square?
Right, is Baldur's Gate. Here's second of the story.
Got my car fixed. Everything looks good. I got $283 left over. Let's go see what's on the Square Enix store today.
I mean, I gotta get Baldur's Gate 3. I've gotta get Starfield, Armored Core 6. I'm buying.
You have Game Pass, don't you?
No, I had to cancel it because of my financial situation at the moment. I cut back on a lot of subs.
I didn't know you canceled it. Yeah, I was gonna say you just play Starfield there.
The only thing I got is Disney Plus and Hulu.
Sino Alice Global, if you don't know about it, a mobile game from Square Enix. It's another one that's about to bite the dust. Came out in 2017 in Japan, then hit a global release later in 2020. So it's going to make it about 3 years. It'll be ending service November 15th. November 15th. You already can't buy currency in it and all that stuff.
I think that game was a product of, the COVID era, and people, didn't have anywhere to go. They were playing a lot of mobile games. It really took off initially, and then now that the world's getting back to normal, people just don't have the time. So, it's good. And
I know you two don't care about this, but I do. So I brought a couple images for you from Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. Again, one of the games that'll be along with Star Ocean shown off at
like I said,
Tokyo
I'm
Game
hyped
Show.
for this game. It'll give me a chance to actually delve into the series.
I don't know how you don't like this, Tark. Like, I understand you've never tried one before, and I could also understand why they would have just escaped your radar. Like, Square has never really gone out of their way in the past to like advertise or hype the hell out of these. But like,
especially
you like World of Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah, I love that game.
The collecting and the monsters and all that stuff. That is what that's what this is. It's Pokemon with a Dragon Quest skin. Yeah.
All right.
And you can breed them. Well, I mean, they don't call it breeding, but like they did this whole post of they did this whole synthesis. Whole post on battle and synthesis and monster talents and stuff. So I just brought a couple screenshots. Obviously, I had to bring slime. I had to, right?
Yeah.
I had to.
What is that? Orange meringue slime there.
Yeah,
good times.
Yeah. And then some of the party screens too. If you want more details on the battle system, it is turn-based. There's a whole post on Square Enix's site. I'm actually looking forward to it. I do enjoy the series. I wish I could get a World of Final Fantasy sequel. Just not. Don't give me the two same main characters, please. Oh.
Yeah, they gotta do something different. Different story, new story.
Before we head over to Love It or Leave It, Tark, Pierce, who's been on the show before. Pearson, you were talking after last week's show when we talked about that ridiculous list. And then you brought to my attention something that the two of you had said, and I was like, that's maybe a good point. But then I had to sit there and I was like, would it make my list? Like, would it make my list? Pierce talked about a series that maybe should be on the list, maybe not. So what was it, and does it make your list?
It only has 2 main entries, and it does have a mobile spinoff title that's actually really good. It's actually really good. But Octopath Traveler, it's a fresh new IP that came out in the last few years. And it really has launched the desire for more people to see HD 2D remakes. I think it absolutely should make a top 10 franchise game of Square Enix. Maybe if you're going to have to put one ahead, I haven't played 2. I have played some of 1, but I've heard 2 is the superior game and story and mechanics and all that fun stuff. And the art is just, they took it to another level. So I think you'd have to put Octopath Traveler 2 in there. Maybe wouldn't make my top 5, but it's definitely going to knock a Secret of Mana out of the top 10.
Flynn, does Octopath either 1 or 2 make your top 10 list from Square Enix games where you're only allowed to pick one of a franchise? Referencing last week's show, if you missed it.
Number 2. But from that studio,
if it made my list, it would definitely be number 2. Like by far, it would be number 2.
Like, part of me would choose Triangle Strategy over Octopath though.
I don't think you can.
Yeah,
I love Triangle so much.
That game's good, but I don't think you can.
As soon as I finished Triangle, I went straight back in for the second playthrough and the third playthrough. I just hammered that. I was so invested.
Certainly wouldn't put
coming from.
Certainly wouldn't put Voice of Cards on there. That's for sure.
I liked that game, but
I liked it. But yeah,
I liked it. Yeah, put it like a 6.57. It's good. It sated my RPG turn-based needs.
I think if Octopath makes my list, it just barely does. It comes in like 8, 9, or 10, like somewhere there. Yeah. I think if we have a few more in that series, that it can move itself up the list. But I feel like if I'm going to put one in, it's Octopath 2, and it's probably like, honestly, it's probably like 9 or 10 right now. Let's head over and do Love It or Leave It. Love It or Leave It is the way we end every episode of the Relic Grind here. It's where we give you something Square Enix related. Could be a game, a feature in a game, a press release, something they've done or said, or just even tangentially related. And last week, I made one of the hosts pick one topic, since I always do it, and Tark volunteered and went at it. So today, Flynn, what you got for us?
So there's something our 14 team loves to do in our expansions that's not really advertised the way we usually see. It is the Tales from the X series, currently the Tales of the Dawn, the short stories that we get that brings more to the world. We've just had our third story of Endwalker, and it was fantastic. So I'm just bringing it up as across the board, all of the different stories we've had. I'm bringing it to you, gents.
So the Tales of the X's, huh?
Yeah.
Tales of the X's. I hear they live in Texas.
Who do you want to go first, Flynn?
Go Tark.
Well, let's just put it this way. And maybe this is Final Fantasy XV bias here speaking, but I like my content for a game being in the game. So when I hear that there's short stories and such outside of the game that can expand on, I'm like, no, I'm good. So I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, just maybe 15 just did me wrong, and it just was too much. But I haven't cared. I'm like, oh, a new Tale story. Good for everybody that wants to get more on side characters. But
I love extra lore. I love diving into characters. I love diving into the lore of the worlds in games, whether they're MMOs or not. I love good lore. I mean, look behind me and all the different books back here that are just lore that you're not going to find in games. Honestly, when I read your Love It or Leave It, I was like, what is he talking Oh, those. Shit, I never remember to go read those. Like, I totally am the audience for it. I I 100% am the audience for it, but I never remember to go read those things. And it legitimately like took my brain 15 seconds to go, what is he? Oh, I know what he's talking. Shit, I should go read some of those. So
I don't know if you remember back in the day, Ethis would like do readings of those stories,
Yeah.
and I would listen to them, but I've never gone to read them myself.
They're 10
Make them
minutes.
audiobooks, and I will make them audiobooks. Yeah. I'll do it.
I love it conceptually, but I'm gonna leave it because the implementation is so subtle, I should say, that literally I forget to go and read the damn things.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I do need to leave myself a bookmark on my browser for me to remember sometimes. But usually the stories are strong enough that they stay in my skull. Like the latest one is Judas, and it's talking about the state of the Guardian mind with the war. Like one of his friends going to Charlayan because of trying to find a new life for themselves, finding a gardener must have been brainwashed and, trying to lay him to rest. It's so much world building. It's another story about Hermes. There's one for Shadowbringers that was the story of when Black Rose hit and all the events that triggered waking up Graha in the Crystal Tower and setting forth Shadowbringers. There's all these little moments that, because we are the Warrior Light, we can't experience them the way that they need to be told.
So you're gonna love it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The presentation, like you said, that's subtle. It's what's the best way to put it? It's as subtle as the marketing for Final Fantasy TCG. It's almost like it's not there.
I hope you get that new job and you're not able to make it Thursday nights anymore.
Don't go after that copy.
Hey, what is this? Almost 3 years? Almost 3 years? He's always been saying, looking for a new host.
I just haven't found one yet. Found one yet. That's going to do it for this week's show. Don't forget Gaming Gumbo Saturday night. Come and hang out with us as we talk about the world of gaming in general. Until next week, though, Flynn, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Flynn_Lawlight, and over on with Vin Crisis. I am getting back into my routine of streaming. We're doing some 14, we're doing some Games of Cud, we're doing Persona 3 Portable still. So come on by. Show some love.
Tark.
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming. I'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV and Ever Crisis. If you want to check out the mobile title and see what it's like, come hang out. And then Ready Check Radio here Saturday night. My God, please let this be the last night for Final Fantasy XV. 3 dungeons. 3 dungeons left. That's it.
Good luck. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there, Magic Man but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, and you'll know every time we go live with a podcast or stream, or we're just hanging out playing some Final Fantasy TCG. Until next time, gang, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers. Yeah, football. Opening night. Enjoy. Later.